The beauty of physical evidence is that it tells a story. We look at a firearm, we look at the blood, there were cartridges left behind, projectiles were found within the toilet. Physical evidence cannot lie.
Day 22 of the Oscar Pistorius trial saw fans waiting for him outside the court with white balloons bearing the words "Hero" and "We love you, Aussie." But inside Court GD, it was back to hostile cross-examination from State Advocate Gerrie Nel.
I'm going to point out to you how improbable your version is, how you're tailoring your evidence, and that it's not true. When you armed yourself and you spoke to Riva, in what way did you say it?
In a low tone, my lady.
In a low tone. If somebody would say that you whispered, that person would be lying.
That's right, my lady.
You know who that person is? It's because somebody said it.
No, my lady.
It's you. You said it. You said, I whispered to Riva. And it's not during cross-examination, it's evidence in chief.
Gerrie Nel asked Oscar why he thought Riva hadn't responded.
Normal people would say, when you get up, she would say, where are you going, Os? So you say, you don't expect her to do that.
My lady, I'm not even sure it would be a probability that if someone gets up in the night that their partner would even ask them what they're doing or if they can't sleep.
And what exactly had he screamed when he thought he'd heard intruders?
I screamed, I said, get the out of my house. Get the out of my house.
Court was adjourned for Oscar to regroup himself after this emotional outburst. But after the break, Gerrie Nel began picking at the scab again.
Mr. Pistorius, you just told us what you shouted and then you got emotional. Why would that cause you to be emotional?
It's a traumatic evening for me, my lady.
Isn't it exactly because that's what you shouted at Riva? With respect to the court, I'll just repeat what you said. Get the out of my house. That's what you shouted at Riva. Isn't that why you got emotional now?
I'm traumatized by the event, and by repeating those exact words, it reminds me about the night.
Gerrie Nel asked Oscar whether he was changing his defense from putative self-defense to accidental shooting.
That you perceived an attack, that you fired at the attacker to kill him, or to ward off the attack. That's not true, am I right?
I didn't fire to kill anyone, my lady.
Or to ward off an attack.
My lady, I didn't have time to think. I heard this noise and I thought it was somebody coming out to attack me, so I fired my firearm.
Your defense have now changed, sir, from putative self-defense to involuntary action.
I've given a reason to why I fired, my lady. I thought somebody was coming out to attack me.
But you didn't fire at that person?
I fired in the direction where I thought the attack was coming from, my lady.
You see, Mr. Pistorius, you now have to give a lot of answers. And you know why, Mr. Pistorius? It's because you know exactly. You fired at Riva.
I did not fire at Riva.
My lady, the witness is emotional. May we take an adjournment again?
I think it's quite patent now that if you come to certain aspects of the evening, that the witness will get emotional and it's being repeated and repeated. And I have a difficulty to understand whether that's really a necessary part of cross-examination.
I don't think it is a repetition. I would have stopped Mr. Nel if I thought it was a repetition.
After lunch, Gerrie Nel was at it again.
So you've got a gun, a cocked gun, in your right hand. You unlock the door, you open both doors, and that gun was you never discharged that gun again.
That's correct, my lady.
You see, Mr. Pistorius, it's getting more and
my lady,
more
I understand how it sounds, but if I look back now, and I realize how much I was busy there on the floor, I could have kicked it and it could have shot me or Riva again.
Why are you getting emotional now?
It's an emotional It's emotional memories for me.
No, it's not. Mr. Pistorius, you're not using your emotional state as an escape, are you?
No, my lady.
Gerrie Nel said his next set of questions would centre around the toilet door and suggested it would be a topic best left until tomorrow.